How you doing? This is Nathaniel Swope said and recently reported by TMZ. Bronny James, son of LeBron James, collapsed during basketball practice at the University of Southern California. He went into cardiac arrest during practice and was rushed to hospital. Was in the ICU. He's now in stable condition and doing very well. So God bless and thankful that he's doing really well. We've also seen recently Keontae Johnson, who played at Kansas State, was recently drafted in the second round. Excuse me. But as you all know, Keontae Johnson collapsed during a basketball game at the University of Florida, Florida versus Florida State. He ended up sitting out the rest of the season. I believe he sat out some the following season and then transferred to Kansas State. Um, so hopefully Bronny James can recover from this, but more than likely he probably have to sit out the majority of the season while he's being evaluated. And we also seen with one of the famous college players of all time, Hank Gathers, played at Loyola Marymount. During the middle of a game, he collapsed and passed away. Also recently, Dallas Cowboys trainer, I believe it was last year, collapsed and passed away in the middle of the weight room. So one of the biggest questions is, why all these athletes or why, so many heart conditions happening now to athletes, especially in basketball and soccer. You know what I'm saying? So many athletes going through these athletes where they're running and stopping and running and going are dealing with a lot more heart conditions. I deal with atrial fibrillation. Short name for it is AFib. When I played basketball, it was really hard for me to stay in shape and really catch my breath. And a lot of my coaches thought I was lazy, but come to find out I had a heart condition, which was AFib, and I didn't find out to college. And a lot of times when I played, like I said, it'd be hard to catch my breath, and sometimes things would start to go black, like I was about to black out, so I would just stop and sit down. So it was a lot of times it was really hard to push myself to that next level, because I was dealing with AFib. But like I said, I didn't find out into my sophomore year of college. So a lot of times in high school, it could have been instances where I could have passed out, but I kind of just, and you think you push yourself because you're thinking like, so I just got to push myself and go harder, but not knowing that I had a heart condition this whole time. And we also seen what Shaquille O'Neal's son was dealing with a heart condition, and he had to have heart surgery before playing basketball at Louisiana State University, and he had to sit out the majority of that first year. I read some articles, and people are saying that COVID is to blame for a lot of these newer heart conditions, not just in athletes, but to everybody, especially with the COVID vaccine, because the COVID vaccine affects the heart. So I haven't done much research on that. I know I did the Johnson and Johnson. The Johnson and Johnson hasn't really affected my heart, to an extent. You know what I'm saying? So, but I know I had to get doctor's clearance to get it because it could affect the heart. But we are having a lot of athletes dealing with heart conditions, and what I'm saying. I don't know if it just wasn't reported much 10 to 20 years ago, but we just, you would hear about heart conditions kind of like here and there, but you didn't hear about it as much with some of the, some of our top athletes or our children of our top athletes dealing with heart conditions. Bronny James come from a great gene pool. Like LeBron James is probably the greatest athlete of all time. And for his son to be dealing with a heart condition is really unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I just hope he has a speedy recovery, and we definitely, hopefully, able to see him play college basketball and play it at the highest level. That he can possibly play the game at. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, so heart conditions are very serious, especially uh, when you pass out. Like there's been a lot of athletes or a lot of coaches and stuff from passing out from heart condition stuff that don't make it. So just a blessing that he is in stable condition and able to like I said, be in stable condition, possibly go back to exercising and working out. But I know the NCAA does take these heart conditions serious, and I saw another article about how marijuana could affect your heart. There was a video about Bronny James smoking, but that has to be more evaluated and researched about the effects of marijuana on the heart, because we know there are a lot of NBA players who do consume marijuana, and the NBA is starting to uh, be a little more lenient on the marijuana laws as far as with the NBA. So You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's just about how your body, how it affects your body. You know what I'm saying? Because we know we do have athletes who consume marijuana and it really hasn't affect their body or affect them in general. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it just depends on you know what I'm saying, on your body. But there's definitely needs to be a study on why so many high profile athletes or just athletes in general, why are they going through so many heart conditions, especially in basketball and soccer? Because in track and field, I don't hear about it as much. I don't know if it's reported as much, but I just don't hear about a lot of athletes going through these heart conditions in like basketball, cycling, where they're doing a lot of running. You know what I'm saying? A lot of oxygen coming in and out. I know with basketball and soccer, you could be running and getting a lot of oxygen in and out, and then you're stopping, then you're going again. So a lot of times it can be hard for the heart to and the lungs just to react to all the stopping and starting. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, we've had these athletes for so many years, and we just haven't heard about so many heart conditions with so many athletes, and it's something that definitely, like I said, needs to be studied to see what is going on with these athletes and the higher rates of heart conditions. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, there's going to have to be some studying with Bronny James to see if he has a heart condition, or just something that just kind of happened where his heart rate just went up, and you know what I'm saying, and his body just passed out. So he may not have a heart condition. It could have just been, possibly could have passed out. Uh, what I'm saying, extenuous exercise, or what I'm saying, depending on how practice was, the air conditioning. We've seen a lot of players pass out because they're too hot. The body is overheating, and we've seen a lot of football players pass out from heat, or they've had heat strokes and stuff like that. And when I talked to my doctor about my heart condition, and I was like, look, my heart was skipping a beat while I was in practice. And one of my doctor's first question was, well, what was the temperature in the gym? Was it really hot? And at one time I was like, yeah, it was like really hot. He was like, so when you're doing strenuous exercises, you want to make sure that the temperature in the area is pretty good. You don't want to be exercising too tough in the sun, or you know what I'm saying, because your body can overheat and it affects the heart. So more than likely, of course, is USC, one of the best universities in America. If they're in the gym, is going to be air conditioned. You know what I'm saying, but we don't know if what I'm saying, what, like, were they conditioning, is doing a lot of running, or were they outside doing a lot of running? I'm going to guess that they were inside the gym, but heat and your body overheating does affect the heart. But and again, and all in all, I'm thankful, and God bless that Bronny James is doing well, is in stable condition. It's very unfortunate. Like I said, I hope he gets well. I hope we can see him this season play. You know what I'm saying? It's been so much talked about, possibly Bronny James and his Bronny James and LeBron James playing in the NBA together, and that would be one of the first father and son. I think it'd be the first father and son to play together in the NBA. We've seen it in a MLB, Major League Baseball, King Griffey Jr. and King Griffey Sr. So it'd be really unfortunate if Bronny James couldn't play ball again, and that's something we couldn't see. I know he does have Bryce James coming up, but something that's been talked about. I would love to see Bronny James, LeBron James Jr., LeBron James Sr. playing in the NBA together. Like I said, God bless to you, Bronny James. I'm glad you're doing well. I hope you get even better, and I hope we can see you on the court this season. You know what I'm saying? This is Nathaniel Swopes, the Swope Setter, signing out, and you all have a good one.